Today was an interesting news day. Feels like a news week. So much stuff happened today on Wednesday. Trump had a town hall on CNN of all places. The Congress came back with their findings on the Biden crime family. Let's see. George Santos, representative in New York, was arrested for, of all things, influence peddling, no, money laundering, which is really interesting. And the story I'm going to talk about today is E. Jean Carroll, her lawsuit against Donald Trump for rape, assault, and defamation of character is over. She won $5 million. Let's see if she collects it. Let's talk about it. Hello, everyone. This is Keith. Welcome to the Ghetto Sapien channel, your home of inner city intelligence. So, yeah, I picked the E. Jean Carroll case, the civil case against Donald Trump. Let's talk about that. I'm going to talk about the other ones also this week, but I thought I'd start off with this strange one, and it is strange. Starting with the interview. Here it is.
This was 20 years ago. And I probably was, at that moment, in that 5 minutes, the most attractive woman in Bergdorf's in that one bit of time.
You're talking about 1995,
95, 96. He was Shakespearean. He was great. You'd love to see him on the street. Victim.
You don't feel like a victim?
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished. Which, the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
But I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
We're going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
She made Anderson Cooper feel really creeped out. You could tell. And that's why he saved her and went to a commercial. The whole interview is about 15 minutes long. I challenge anyone to find and I cut it up because she just rambles on and on. I wanted to just point out that she didn't know whether it was 1995 or 1996, which is, that's huge. If you're going to accuse someone, you need to let them know exactly when it happened so they can come up with a defense instead of having to guess where they were exactly what time between a 1 year period that happened almost 30 years ago. But I challenge anyone to find that last part of the interview where she talks about how, her fantasies and really made Anderson Cooper seem uncomfortable, because it is real hard to find. They've been deleting that thing like mad off of YouTube. I wonder why. And I also believe that that clip was not played by the defense in the courtroom. I don't think it was allowed. And also, I wonder why about that too. So the statute of limitations in New York is officially dead. E. Jean Carroll actually had a chance to help write the law that she used to sue Trump. Don't believe me? Here it is. Read it for yourself. E. Jean Carroll admits she helped New York Dems change law so she could sue Trump. That has to be a first. I've never heard of a plaintiff with the ability to write a law to criminalize, or at least open their defendant up to a lawsuit, a multi-million-dollar lawsuit, after it happened and after, the statute of limitations had run out. That is an abuse of the legal system. E.G. Carroll, the woman who accused former President Donald Trump of rape, assault, and defamation, said yesterday she helped New York Democrats change a state law so she could sue. Silly me, I must have missed that in civics class. I didn't know that was the purpose of government and the judicial system and the legislative system, to have victims, quote unquote victims, we'll say the plaintiff, rewrite laws to help them sue an individual. Wow. State Governor Kathy Hochul signed Adult Survivors Act into law in 2022, just in time. The legislation allowed a 1-year look-back window for survivors of sexual assault to sue their alleged abuser regardless of when the abuse occurred. So yes, statute of limitations in New York are dead. Trump was found liable Tuesday for defamation and battery, but not rape in this case, with Carroll to be awarded a total of $5 million in damages. The fact that New York passed this law, the Adult Survivors Act, CNN's Poppy Harlow said they passed it just a few years ago. Were it not for this law, you never have been able to bring this case. It wasn't a few years ago, it was last year. Exactly. I would have never had this window this year of having the ability to bring a lawsuit for rape. Robbie can explain it better, blah, blah, blah. All right, so yeah, she actually helped to get the law passed. It was passed last year, not years ago. We filed, it was Thanksgiving Day, the first day you could sue. We filed it for just after midnight on Thanksgiving. There's a lot of women throughout the state and hopefully throughout this country that will get their laws passed, get other laws like this passed in other states. And New York women should use this law while it's still around, which is until next Thanksgiving. So what? This law expires? It's only open for 1 year? That's really targeting one person, because if the law is so good, why not keep it in perpetuity? I can't even speak. Just keep it forever. Right? Let it sit on the books. Why make it only for 1 year? Isn't that odd? I don't see how this is going to stand up to appeal, unless it's in New York State, of course, because if you're a Republican, or especially your last name is Trump, obviously they'll do any freaking thing they want to do to you. But once it gets up to the appellate court, I think on a federal level, it's going to fall apart. This is a ridiculous case. That woman's never going to see the $5 million, nor should she. Just think about how weird the verdict was. So she was suing Trump because he called her crazy for accusing him of rape. So the jury said, okay, you're right. You didn't rape her, but we're still going to award her $5 million because you said you called her crazy for accusing you of rape. The very same rape that we said you didn't do. Insane. Just crazy. I don't think there's much more to really go over on this. As a former New Yorker, I would say I'm embarrassed for my state, but I've been out of it so long, I don't even really care anymore. It's just funny to me in this case. But the real purpose of this case was to taint Trump, so it's harder for him to win the women's vote. They know he's not going to pay out the $5 million. They're just using E.G. Carroll. They're going to parade her around for a while until some other thing comes up that they have to, if something comes up against Biden, they're going to have to distract people with some other indictment against Trump or arrest some other Republican. So this is going to be going on for quite some time. E.G. Carroll is just, one of the weapons they'll use, but she's going to be kicked to the side. Maybe a week after this, they're going to forget about her. But the reason why they have to go to these lengths to stop Trump is because their standard bearer, Biden, is such a terrible president and a terrible candidate. They can't hide him in a basement anymore. There's no COVID, so they're going to have to distract. I don't see how that's going to work out for him, because you got Title 42 ending. You got about 5 million more illegal immigrants are going to be entering the state. That's going to change things dramatically. I think inflation's going to get worse. We're going to be in a recession. It's going to be pretty bad. So they're going to have to do a hell of a lot to distract people from the pain of the Biden administration in order to keep them from voting for Trump. But again, who knows? What do I know? I'm just here telling stories and running my mouth. And I just hope you stick with me through this whole thing. We're going to have some laughs, have some fun, learn some stuff, because I try not to be too serious, even though these are serious times, to be quite honest. Well, that's all I got on this. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.